go.
Criminals have a strange talent for turning confidence into chaos. The smarter they think they are, the more entertaining the story becomes. So keep watching. Two Green Planet stores in Tampa were broken into in less than 2 hours. The thieves were on an ambitious, two-store shopping spree, just without a receipt or permission. More than $6,000 in fragrances allegedly disappeared from Sephora after 4 suspects grabbed products from the shelves and ran. That's one expensive perfume collection, especially when the receipt is apparently non-existent. Armed, targeting the money in the safe, and still not forgetting to take Backwood brand cigars. Looks like even a robbery is a chance to pick up some tobacco. The suspect forced his way into a local store on the 1500 block of North Cockrell Hill Road and stole several pairs of Versace sunglasses and a laptop. Designer shades and a laptop. Quite the luxury shopping trip without spending a dime. Three suspects allegedly went on a robbery spree across the DFW area, hitting multiple stores while pointing weapons at employees and demanding cash. One robbery wasn't enough, so they apparently turned it into a full-day crime tour. These suspects turned Foot Locker into their own after-hours shoe warehouse. They broke in late at night, grabbed a massive haul of sneakers, and left without spending a single dollar. Three suspects allegedly stormed into an AT&T store, forced the employees into the back office, and stole phones from the stockroom. One of them was even accused of assaulting an employee. That's certainly a terrible way to upgrade a phone. Eight phones and some cash went into the suspects' hands during this T-Mobile robbery. They reportedly escaped in a silver Cadillac CTS, because apparently a regular shopping bag wasn't enough for this kind of shopping spree. Two suspects allegedly hit a Valero station, with one taking cash from the register while the other grabbed several packs of cigarettes. They then walked away toward California Street. During the civil unrest on May 31, 2020, several unidentified suspects were allegedly caught on camera, looting thousands of dollars worth of merchandise from the T-Mobile store at 2918 N. Apparently, chaos became their shopping opportunity. Three stores in 1 month, the same suspect, and fortunately, no one was injured. This isn't a side hustle, it's a string of crimes that's getting harder and harder to ignore. Walking into Citgo with a black handgun and demanding money doesn't sound anything like a customer loyalty program. The employee certainly won't be giving this customer a 5-star service rating. A concrete block, a broken window, and a late-night trip to Foodtown Mart allegedly ended with stolen cigarettes and cash. That's one very destructive shopping trip. The suspect walked into OK Food Mart, demanded cash, and was met with an electronic door lock instead. He came in expecting an easy robbery, and ended up getting trapped inside. That's one serious plot twist. At 7:09 a.m., the suspect turned a quiet cafe visit into a robbery. One demanded the victim's cash, while the second stood watch. Then both fled on foot, leaving behind a mourning nobody at M&Trois Cafe was expecting. Two suspects allegedly slipped into a home on the 3900 block of Boca Bay Drive through the rear sliding door and stole property. A quiet morning turned into a burglary before anyone knew what happened. The candy was apparently just the setup. He waited for the register to open, reached across the counter, and allegedly snatched the cash before taking off. A checkout strategy that definitely belongs in the bad ideas category. The woman pulled up in a black car, grabbed a package from the front porch and drove away. No delivery fee, no waiting, and definitely no permission. Just an unauthorized pickup. This suspect allegedly robbed the subway on Bush Boulevard. Nothing says "sub of the day" like walking in for sandwiches and leaving with someone else's cash. Multiple apartments around Hyde Park, Bayshore, and downtown Tampa were allegedly targeted for bicycle thefts. This suspect believed bike sharing meant taking someone else's bike without asking. They walked in at 2 a.m., immediately targeted the cashier, and split up the robbery. One demanded the money, while the other went behind the counter and emptied the safe. A carefully divided job, but definitely not a legitimate business transaction. The first suspect walked in, grabbed a drink, and waited for the cashier to open the register. Then the second suspect stepped in, jumped the counter, and took the cash while the first kept the cashier under threat. That purchase turned into a robbery in seconds. Pizza Patron was apparently on the suspect's list for the night. The problem? Surveillance footage was keeping its own receipt. Now investigators have a video trail instead of just a robbery report. The suspect rolled up to El Faro on a green mountain bike, walked inside with a backpack, and threatened the cashier for cash. After filling the bag, he pedaled south and disappeared. The suspect walked up to the cashier, pointed a weapon, and demanded cash from the safe. A quick robbery, but definitely not the kind of hotel service anyone asked for. He spent time inside the store first, then came back later to rob it. Apparently, he wasn't just browsing. He was doing some very questionable planning. Two masked suspects turned a 1:57 a.m. hotel visit into a robbery, with one demanding cash while the other jumped the counter. Checking in wasn't on their itinerary. Three businesses got the same late-night treatment: smashed glass and stolen cash. Now he's a prime suspect in a fourth burglary. Apparently, this thief really believes in sticking to a routine. The two robbers allegedly targeted the Marathon station on N 40th St., threatened the employee, then took the money from the safe and a silver cash box before running off. Looks like their idea of stopping by the gas station was to fill up on everything except the gas tank. The suspects turned a visit to AT&T at 1812 N West Shore Boulevard into a grab 7 devices and go trip. 5 iPhones, 2 iPads, and apparently no intention of paying for any of them. They smashed their way inside, attacked the safe with a sledgehammer and saw, and walked away empty-handed. That's a lot of noise for a robbery with absolutely no payday. Two suspects walked into gas pipe, threatened the employees, and emptied cash from two registers. Apparently, they skipped the shopping part and went straight to the free checkout. He walked into Verizon just before closing with a rolling suitcase, pulled a weapon, and ordered the employees into the back room. Then he filled the suitcase with phones, tablets, and cash. Talk about checking out without a receipt. He smashed the window of a phone store and stole 3 phones, only to discover all 3 had special security features that made them useless. That's one expensive way to steal 3 very fancy paperweights. Two men broke into the mailroom at Avenue on Fairmount, 4210 Fairmount St. in Dallas, opened packages, and stole property. Nothing says New Year's Eve like an unauthorized package opening party. They didn't exactly wait for the store to open. At 3:30 a.m., these suspects forced their way into Discount Tobacco and Grocery. Apparently, discount wasn't cheap enough, so they went with free. Breaking in at 3 a.m. just to carry off a TV is certainly one way to start the morning. The package had barely made it to the porch before this suspect allegedly showed up and took it. That's one way to turn out for delivery into out the door. The suspect went into the garage, stole a bicycle, and ran from the scene. Looks like this wasn't a bike ride. It was a cardio workout with a stolen bike waiting at the finish line. He allegedly walked into McDonald's, threatened an employee, emptied the safe, and disappeared. Apparently, someone wanted quick cash, but forgot that every robbery comes with consequences that can last much longer. These suspects showed up at 3 a.m. with a crowbar and one thing on their shopping list: the safe. The woman turned a visit to a store on W. Davis into a theft. Several pairs of glasses were taken from the store, and the suspect left behind images for investigators to identify her. A jewelry store is usually where people admire expensive things. These two allegedly skipped the admiring part, pulled a weapon, grabbed the valuables, and turned the front door into their exit strategy. The woman was caught on camera stealing a package from the porch in the 200 block of Audubon Drive, while a small child followed her and witnessed the whole thing. This is definitely not the kind of lesson anyone would want a child to learn. The suspects allegedly robbed Value Pawn at 69 Watt Armenia Ave and left with merchandise. A pawn shop is supposed to be where you negotiate a price, not where you grab everything and run. The CVS at N30th St. Denis Fowler was closed because of nearby protests, but that didn't stop this group from breaking the glass, lifting the security gate, and rushing inside. 2 employees were forced to run for safety as the store was looted and damaged. Some unidentified suspects allegedly broke into Value Pawn at 523 Nebraska Ave, N, and took several items. No payment, no receipt, just a straight-up break-in and haul. These two turned a visit to J.Lo Beauty Supply into a beauty shopping trip with no receipt. New hair, without spending a dollar. What these stories prove is that bad decisions can unravel fast, especially when confidence outruns common sense. If you enjoyed the ride, like, comment, subscribe, and share.